Hello everyone and welcome back to The Games Must Go On, a series that has limitless potential because of how high the stakes are, multiplied by the fact that some of these challenges are absolutely massive. But the challenge I'm covering today is not massive, and that's why I'm doing two of them. That's right, today I'm tackling two challenges in this episode as I ask the question, can you beat Super Mario Maker 2 without touching the ground? The rules here today are pretty different, as today the two groundless challenges that I'm doing come from different sources. Now the first challenge's rules are based off of a new Super Mario Bros. U challenge that Nathaniel Bandy and Nico BBQ did. In this challenge, Bandy and Nico were only allowed to stand on boost blocks that they spawned in with the gamepad, and nothing else. I'm going to go ahead and replicate this in Mario Maker 2 by only allowing myself to stand on blocks made with Luigi Assist mode. The other rule set is based off of my groundless challenge in New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Now in this challenge I only avoided the blocks that I would consider to be ground tiles in Mario Maker, allowing myself to stand on objects like blocks and pipes. Now this obviously transposes pretty well into Mario Maker 2, but there is one big thing that I'm removing. In New Super Mario Bros. Wii, there was no such thing as boost blocks, and as such, in this version of the groundless challenge, I will ban myself from using Luigi Assist mode. Other than that, there are a couple of rules shared between both challenges that I should mention, such as whenever I start a level, spawn from a checkpoint, or enter or leave a door, pipe, or warp box, I'm actually going to give myself immunity until I enter a freefall state in the air. Also, I'm going to allow myself to bounce off of enemies in both versions. And last but not least, this will not be any percent, because that would be boring since I could just grind 5 levels and beat the game. And come on, that wouldn't be interesting. Instead, my end goal is to beat as many levels as I can individually with each challenge applied and see if they are possible. But with that being said, let's get right into this. Level 1 is a downhill battle, and it's pretty easy all things considered. Now it does feature a couple of Goomba bounces in the non-assist mode as well as some damage boosting across these spikes, but overall it isn't anything too hard. Now level 2 on the other hand is completely impossible, at least in the non-assist mode version, as we can't even leave the starting area. And surprisingly, most of the levels in this challenge follow a very similar pattern. Either they are laughably easy or they are obviously impossible. And as such, I will be mostly focusing on the tougher and more interesting levels today. Speaking of more interesting levels, Level 2's Assist Mode version actually requires some planning when coming to the end, as we have a bunch of Piranha plants that typically require a star to defeat, and we can't get to it. Now instead, Luigi can give us a free Fire Flower that can be used to clear out the passageway quite efficiently. And then we reach this section. Now at first it doesn't look that bad, but it features a problematic roadblock in this run, that being what some may call shiny, yet inevitably deadly coins. You see, Luigi Assist Mode is powerful, as we can basically go over any challenge that we'd find in normal gameplay by just, placing hard blocks. But there is a catch. We can only place these blocks on available tiles, and by available I mean absolutely no interference whatsoever. Even things like enemies that are falling out of existence still count as interference. Thankfully though, Luigi brought an arsenal of items for several different occasions. And here the POW block is what I have my eye on, as it will allow me to destroy these metallic menaces and let me move on. The next problem actually comes from level 3 without assist mode, and this one's actually quite frustrating as it's just this singular tree. That's right, this first tree is what stands between me and the goal, as I have to flip from the top of the tree over this chunk of ground into this pit. And at first this feels as possible as permanently patching the black hole glitch, which isn't gonna happen. But that's just because I'm facing the direction I want to go. And if you've played Mario 64, you know if you want to go fast, you gotta go backwards. By flipping my direction, I can get a whole lot closer, but I'm still not in the clear. And while spinning midair does help, it just feels too far. At least until I got the perfect spin and actually was able to pull it off, on a testing attempt. From there, I just had to throw myself at this jump over and over again, just hoping to land it on an actual attempt, which took quite a while, but eventually I was able to pull it off. Level 5 is a little tricky with assist mode, as it features a puzzle with P-switches and flip blocks. Now unfortunately for the puzzle, when I'm faced with a door, I decide to just go through the window. That is to say, while the game wants me to go coin collecting, I got myself a POW block, and by activating the P switch and heading up, I can actually solve the puzzle in the most correct way before going to an exit door. From there, the only thing that stands in my way is a bit of claustrophobia, but that won't do much to me. Oh, what's that? You want more claustrophobia? Then look no further than level 9, the Keymaster, as its tight passageways definitely have you covered there. Also, remember how I said that tiles had to be available in order for Luigi to put his tiles down? Well, in level 11, Seesaw Catapults, this is extremely annoying, as even if the idea of a seesaw is in a tile, Luigi will lose the entire ability of being helpful. However, the next level I want to talk about introduces probably the most frustrating problem in the entire run, that being doors. Now, the level in question is level 17, Swing Claw Swing, and it falls apart as soon as we enter this door. Now remember, I have immunity to the ground when I spawn in a level and when leaving doors or pipes until I re-enter the air. However, this door is evil because as soon as I exit, I'm one block in the air, losing my immunity immediately, and there's nothing I can do in this scenario, as even Luigi Assist mode can't save me, as it actually takes a second to refresh after leaving a door or pipe, meaning this is actually the first level to be impossible with Assist mode. Worse though, is this problem actually appears in several levels in a run and is frustrating every single time. Hey, hold up. It's been a minute since I've talked about claustrophobia. Well, I guess you know what that means. It's time for some more tight spaces in levels 24 and 28, that being Goomba Clubhouse and Way of the Shell. Man, it turns out the groundless challenge isn't great in tiny spaces. Oh well. Anyways, the next fun level is level 35, Master of the Trees, which after level 3 definitely describes me. Fittingly, the problem here is not even related to trees. Instead, it's that at the end I have to jump from this pipe to this bully that is bouncing back and forth. While it's definitely not consistent, it definitely is possible to make this jump and make it to the end. The next fun problem takes place in level 38, Ant Trooper March, with Assist mode. And while nothing in this level is impossible, and it isn't particularly claustrophobic except for this part, the level in general is just pretty tough. That's mostly thanks to the auto-scroll as it's pretty fast, and yes, Luigi Assist mode does freeze time. However, the terrain that I create isn't what I would call speedrun material. Nevertheless, it definitely is possible and we can move on. Level 49 is next, and it features a pipe at the very end that drops us right on the ground. Now normally this would be a death sentence, but this case is actually special because we're in the 3D World game style and the level actually provides us with a cat bell earlier. Now this is pretty important because that means if we could latch onto the pipe after leaving it, we should technically be able to climb on top of it. Now just holding left obviously isn't going to cut it. Instead, we actually have to perfectly time a cat dive the moment we leave the pipe, which isn't the easiest thing to do, but after several attempts, I was actually able to land a dive and get to the top of the pipe before jumping to the flag. The next level, Rotten Produce, at first seems completely impossible with Assist mode due to these donut blocks which are blocking our path, but there is a way around, and that's by going above them. But of course, there's a catch, that being we can't actually place the blocks above the ceiling, which is made worse by the fact that we can't make the jump without blocks, even with the propeller suit. Now we do have one other option though, that being to use the POW block, as if we could drop it after propellering and land on it, we could essentially get a second jump. However, in order to maximize distance, it would be pretty precise. Not to mention I'm doing this over the screen, so I would be doing this essentially blind as well. Despite this, I was actually able to pull it off, meaning this level is possible with Assist mode. While I could talk about the next level, I don't think I could do it justice, so instead, I'll go ahead and let another groundless champion, that being Nico BBQ, talk about it.
Level 51 is Koopa Clown Car Coin Collecting, and it's a level where we have to collect all of those yucky coins, but we cannot do that with only this pipe to stand on. If we could get over to this clown car, we could easily get all of the coins, but sadly, the clown car is too far away and that bullet bill blaster over there is chasing us. Thankfully, we can actually use this blaster to our advantage by bouncing on top of one of those bullet bills and landing on top of the blaster in order to fly it over to the other clown car. After that, we can just jump in and this level is pretty easy.
This may seem like the end. I mean, what else is there to cover? I've already talked about cool tricks, precise jumps, and heck, in the intro I showed you guys a random glitch with a piranha plant clipping through blocks. So what else is there to show? Well, I will say one thing. Everything up to this point has been a small fry to the one heck of a level in this run, that being none other than level 67, Boom Boom Rager. Let's get one thing out of the way first. If you play this level normally, it is 100% not possible without assist mode. You physically cannot make this jump, or this jump, or this jump. But there is a single catch that changes absolutely everything. You see, you can get a Mega Mushroom in this level. No, not as a normal power-up. No, instead it's in this random invisible block at the very beginning of the level. You see, this one single power-up that has never been remotely useful in this entire challenge is what changes everything. Let's start off with the first normally impossible jump. Typically, there are some hard blocks in a pyramid shape that help us get extra height, but in actuality, they just really eat up our acceleration. But with the power of the Mega Mushroom, we can destroy them, revealing a mushroom platform underneath that is normally just supposed to be decoration. But with the mushrooms as flat platforms, we can actually use them to make the jump. However, it's still pretty difficult to make it. I hope you enjoyed the first 20 seconds of the level though, cause there's a lot more where that came from. Next up is the second jump, which is mostly a problem because of the hard block ceiling. But as you can probably guess, we can just smash through it now, and after some more smashy, we got ourselves a nice runway. I just need to make sure I don't smash this last block over here, and yeah, this jump is actually probably the easiest of the three. Which is actually bad, because the last jump is where the real fun is. This jump seems similar to the first one. We just have to destroy the hard blocks, build up some speed, and jump. So what's so bad about it? Well, as it turns out, it's actually frame and pixel perfect. Seriously, this is the frame that you have to press jump. When I was testing this, my cue on whether or not I was going to make it was if I saw my height actually decrease for a frame before the game saw my input. So yes, in the end it was actually possible, but if you haven't noticed, that's 3 really tight jumps in a single level that I have to do in a single shot because the checkpoint is absolutely worthless, since we only get one Mega Mushroom and that's at the very beginning of the level. Oh yeah, did I mention the wind? You gotta love it when the one level to be filled with Lost Levels pain is the one with all of this. Nevertheless, despite all these odds, this level is actually possible. And thank goodness, cause I do not want to go back. We aren't done yet though, as there's still more pain to suffer through, so let's continue on with level 70, Freezing Rain. In this level, a wonderful crossover occurs between claustrophobia and coins. That is to say, because of all these coins in this 50-meter dash, I have to go high up, which basically requires that I shove Mario's face into some frosty spikes. Not all hope is lost though, as Luigi actually provides an invincibility star for protection, which can actually carry us for quite a while. And from there, Luigi's power-ups actually become a buffet, as well as our only source of safety, as they can be used for damage boosting. But with all that being said, the level is definitely possible, just as long as we don't run out of blocks at the end. Another cool level is level 88, Monty Mole Iceberg Getaway, as this one actually requires the Cape Feather, as after we unalive this swamp, we can use it to soar over the entire level to a secret exit. Just a normal everyday castle is next, and while the level is more filled with cheese than difficulty, it actually holds a secret unrelated to the challenge that no one has really talked about. That being, there's actually an unusable sound effect in the level. It's actually right here, and I'll let you have a listen. Kinda weird how that was left in, but I should probably get on to the last few levels as we're in the home stretch now. In the way of the shell, we have a precise jump here to slip between the ground and the skewer. And lastly, in coin collecting on an unarmed airship, I have to get pretty lucky with this POW block in order to grab these coins. And at the end of a level, I actually have to lure a bullet bill underneath these coins so I can bounce off of it while collecting them. But with that, 44 of the levels here were possible without assist mode, and 99 were possible with it, which in the end I'm pretty happy with. But if you enjoyed, please consider hitting that like button or subscribing. I really want to grow the channel as I have some big stuff planned for the future, and that's the best way to help me out. But in the end, the only thing I can say is thank you all for watching, and thank you for a great 3 years, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!